6, I said, when you shot.
Let's keep this knife right quick. Representing the Indie YYC guys. Our featured performer, usually I read the bio and I stumble in it, make an ass of myself and shit. I'm not gonna do it. This time, it's self-evident what kind of poet we have coming up to this mic. He is the doctor, Mr. John Williamson! Keep it going, please. Keep it On the
going.
way to the stage! Yeah! Woo! Wow! Woo!
Thanks for coming out on this snowy night, everybody.
Yeah.
Wakefield's your tough act to follow, and it's nice there was a giant break. I'm not exactly following this. I have some copies of my book.
Yes!
For only $5.
Only
$5! Buy it!
And
He'll sign
there's
it.
another show coming up in December that's going to feature me, even though I'm not on the ticket, and Francesco, and Josie, and there's copies of those tickets. There's those tickets.
Yes. $10.
Here, if you want to buy one for that event too on December 15th. Do it.
Yes, do it.
Yeah, do it. Let's hear some poetry from me.
Yeah. Woo!
Dusk's setting sun funnels through the crimson leaves, the gaps between the trees affording iridescent river glimpses. This path was made for a man like this. Clever microfibers whisk away the sweat. In 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Quick feet, quiet feet, kick back with every step. Pacing perfect. Just enough left for the sprint to the finish. His improvised line, a sign reading slow down. Obviously meant for the cyclists and not for him who never will. Now, one hand on the post, stretching quads, hamstrings and calves, cooling down. Better than sex, he says, smugly buzzed with these hard-won drugs, his body's own drugs, flood his blood. stuffed rucksack tugs hard back, stiff rotten ports tumble in the head, plummeting though the road is flat. Lungs have clung to thin and ragged breaths, little respiration since he saw he'd overslept. Drenched with tense sweat, too big buckle, pours into ribs, boxer briefs punch, here tight and there loose, nuts in the noose, skinny slacks might flatter the ass, and just might suffice in games more pastoral, but his pants can't hack. The shock of an exertion, and they tear, and then worsen, and a big fail in every way. Because today, Mr. Hot Shit Super Fit runs the run on one who hadn't expected to run. And this is the one that has two items of clothing, and one of them is being mean to the other one. Proud and hopeful, draped over his shoulders, hugging his torso. The wife and kid weren't wrong about your fit when he asked. But do you really think he'll ever be seen with you outside of this house or even very far past this closet? Dark. Festooned with flowing flowers, he probably doesn't even know the names of petals too delicate to see the light of day. And rows of fancy buttons prancing down the front like the silly soldiers from the Nutcracker Ballet that he's never seen. Slim fitting when he's insecure and grew up on 90s bulky. Do you really think he was ever going to pull you off except to pull you off and wrap you around that cold hanger at the last minute after changing his mind like he always does? Sure. He thinks he's getting braver, more artistic, flamboyant even. His heart's in the right place, but he can never hold this kind of change in his pocket. So hang loose, hang low, hang tight, hang anyhow you like, except on him in public. You extrovert shirt, you bougie blouse, you walk from apparent to apparel. Because it's time that you know the thing that I do, and believe me, him too, right down to his bones. The nail that sticks up gets pounded down, and today the roll of the hammer will be played grimly and gravely, squarely and straightly by dependable me, the gray polo shirt he wears every Tuesday. Okay, this has a lot of repetition in it, and it's about repeating. So this is about Alberta education's system where students with disabilities are assigned numbers to represent their disabilities. It's called codes. Let me teach you about codes. My students have codes, not colds, viral, pathological, easy to catch. Codes, easy to catch too, but more serious in their grim munificence. They linger long beyond school. Now, when my daughter was little, my wife and I stuck a code around her for her own protection from what was too intense. Now that she's bigger, she speaks in code with her friends, and their interference thwarts ours, and we're the bad ones. Now, maybe special education codes are meant like this too, to protect. Euphemistically muting diagnoses, trouble is, colleges don't speak these codes. If our students want the same help there they had in school, they can't say they were coded. They need to learn to call themselves disabled. The system calls this self-advocacy. Now, Now, students with 54 codes, learning disabled, have trouble decoding their words. A computer can be coded to read them out loud, like the first ancients did. The first silent reader, a witch or a devil. Now, Code 42's behavioral have trouble with the Code of Conduct, and the Code of Conduct has trouble with them, like musicians that can't be conducted, or circuits that conduct too much current. Code 44, medically disabled, can have autism, trouble with social codes, or leukemia, cellular codes gone wild to deadly affect an IQ test as a coding task, which means copying, which you're not supposed to do in school except off the blackboard, which is a sign of intelligence. And from what I'm told, thanks Mom, if they had them back in 1978, I would have had a code in school too. You see, I was so clumsy that I was tested and found wanting in visual motor integration, or as the shrink called it, mild brain damage. Then his mom saw it, he shrugged and said there wasn't much to be done, but maybe I'd outgrow the worst. And it was true. I couldn't write neatly, count little dots, or play sports very well, and these were valued codes in school, so I wasn't popular. But sometimes Mom recopied the stories I wrote, and teachers read them to the class, and no one could believe it. And then I got bigger. Not much, but enough. And I learned I was better at contact sports, with their own codes of violence. So I guess it all kind of worked out in the end. Except for the feeling that I was the only one in the room who didn't know the code. And that feeling has never quite left me, but maybe that feeling could be coded as normal. Would I have been better off if there were codes when I was a kid? And that's a code I'll never crack.
Woo!
I just walked right off the stage without even telling them they did a good job last time I performed.
That's why we paid the mortgage.
This is about my feet. My feet are orange on the bottom, or so I am told. By my wife and daughter mostly, who know that it bugs me. Why does it bug me? Well, because I'm a poet and nothing rhymes with orange. And because I'm a poet and honor precision. And they are not that orange! Certainly not popsicle orange, or the radioactive, half slug, half reptile in Washington, the orange that he picked out for his human skin suit. Their hue is more like a handsome, manly colony. From summer sandals and working out in bare feet and maybe genetics. And besides, their color on the bottom, whatever it is the least remarkable feat they achieve. My toes down below look chubby, cute, and tough, like the dwarves from Lord of the Rings, though not so thickly bearded. But on the top side, they appear long and lanky, even though they're only average size like me. They would dazzle in a toes-only bodybuilding contest, and I can even stand right on them for a minute or two, not like a ballerina or Michael Jackson, but longer than most. Monkey dexterous, they pick up socks and other objects with relative ease and anchor the angles like dangle in rock climbing. And moving on, my hard heels can't pound nails without broken boards, the karate kind that are secretly meant to break easily. But these fierce feet are not just boringly buff. They're soft in parts too, like your private eye tough guy who never takes the whale's catch after saving the day. You see, on my instep, I have the whitest, softest bark, like a wolf's belly fur, suggesting just a hint of vulnerability. And I grow good toenails, engineered hard and straight, artistically imbued with lovely crescent moons. And And these Tutsis haven't aged like my hands and face. All of us old Norwegians are just a step away from becoming giant freckles. But somehow they've been spared these ravages. My feet have baby faces. So all in all, fine and form and function. And goddammit, stop calling them orange. When they aren't that, and are so much more. And I don't know who exactly might fetishize these feet, but I feel it's time someone did.
Woo!
Probably more than you want to know about me while eating. Okay, this is, nobody record this one because it's kind of controversial.